Let's just clear the air. In case you weren't already worried about this talk, we're going to talk about the voices of fear in your head, which are often the loudest. I also want to get a brief shout out to Kate Swoboda, who introduced me to this topic. You'll see her name on a few slides. Okay, let's dive in. Fear works on a cue routine reward system. Cue, a mastodon is chasing me. Cue, that car is not going to stop. Cue, oh God, I'm on stage. These are all cues or triggers. When it's a mastodon chasing you, the routine's pretty obvious. Get out, and you get to live on as a fossil rather than prehistoric roadkill. When it's something like stage fright, however, the routine's a little more subtle. Let's say, just for fun, you're giving an Ignite talk. Just for fun. Here are some more modern fear patterns you may see. The perfectionist. So the perfectionist had a horrible time submitting their talk because they couldn't find a photo of themselves that was on brand. Then they had to reshoot their submission video about 5 times per day for a week, all in different lighting situations and aesthetics, trying to get it just right. And if they manage that, they will waste hours looking for the right font for their slide deck before they can get started writing. The second one did not have that problem. The Saboteur pressed send with wild-eyed excitement and then treated themselves for a night out on the town as a reward. When they get their acceptance email, however, they freeze. Oh God, why did I want to do this? They can't remember. What was once borderline mania now feels completely stale. They'll either blow off returning that acceptance email, or they'll get distracted by shiny projects, avoid writing, and then decide there are too many rules, and they don't need that kind of pressure in their lives. The Martyr didn't have time for this because the Martyr never has time. They have kids, they have a job, a gerbil, whatever it is. They cannot possibly take time for themselves. That would be selfish. However, when their talk is accepted, they have to say yes. They have poor boundaries. Someone always needs them more than anything they could possibly need for themselves, which is also why they didn't tell anyone they were speaking. They don't want to inconvenience you, but they will also be super hurt when you don't show up. The Pessimist definitely did not send one in, and they're still pissed about it. I mean, they were thinking about it, but then they're like, ugh, why bother? I mean, anything I would want to talk about, they're just not going to get. And I'm not 25 anymore. No one's going to listen to me. And I mean, I would do it. I really thought about it. But if they're hosting it at Tower Theater, and that's on 23rd Street, and people die on 23rd Street, I don't want to be in the middle of that. I can't do street parking. I don't have a backup cam. I'm just going to wait and see when they do it next year. Okay, so maybe your voices will sound a little more, normal, but the reward is always the same. Comfort. Give up, and the discomfort will end. Give up, and you'll feel better. Okay, so now we snap our fingers, and we're all super aware of our fear patterns. Good for us. We're dating someone, and we really like them, but then we stop texting them, and they asked us about it, and we're like, whoa, smothered. But then we're like, Saboteur, I see you. Okay, now what? Now, hear me out, we talk to our fear. And I hear people saying, just, tell fear to fuck off. Just give it the middle finger and leap right off that cliff. And if that works for you, great. Some of us have trouble seeing that cliff and saying, not real. And ignoring your feelings, fear or otherwise, is counterproductive. It teaches you not to trust yourself. And when you don't trust yourself, you get stuck in relationships, in jobs, eating habits, whatever it is. So instead, I invite you to think of fear as a precious tween. You, your kids, Sheriff from Clueless, whomever it is, fear just wants to fit in. You are the parent who embarrasses it simply by existing. You trigger your precious tween anytime you toe the line into something new. And you cannot tell it to fuck off or drown it out or shut it up for the same reason you can't do that to a real tween. It would hurt. Their family, yeah, please don't. Their family. And in fear's case, it's literally you. Not a good strategy. So instead, plop a cup of tea in front of yourself and have a chat. Talking to yourself does, in fact, get easier. The first question that is good is to ask, what are you really worried about? And this sometimes takes a couple times, just repeating, okay, what are we actually worried about? No, really, what are we really worried about? Number 2, has this happened before? If so, fantastic, we're still here. If not, what might we do to up our chances of survival? And the third one is just, this isn't working, right? Being mean, telling me I'm terrible, not working. To wrap, your job is to nourish the mouthy, fearful preteen that fear is, so that when faced with a choice between something old that you know and something new that you want you have the tools to consciously make your own decisions. Thank you.